You kind of don't want to pick battles unnecessarily that you don't need to pick. Like maybe you hate banks. Maybe you think everybody should be their own bank. But, if Warren Buffett and Charlie, Munger had decided, Berkshire Hathaway bought $30 billion worth of Apple stock and it became worth $150 billion, and they made $120 billion on the trade. And that was more profitable than everything Berkshire Hathaway did in the entire history of the company. And that was a decision made by someone that works for Warren Buffett. And so when they decide to buy $30 billion of Bitcoin, and you don't really like big corporations, and when they custody it with JP Morgan. When Warren Buffett says to JP Morgan, I want $30 billion of Bitcoin, I want you to hold it, Jamie Dimon would say, okay, well, I guess maybe it isn't just for criminals because Warren Buffett wants it or Bill Gates wants it. And then he picks up the phone and calls someone at his bank, and they decide to open up a custody operation. And then the price of Bitcoin triples. And, you'll be sitting there saying, damn it, the stupid Berkshire Hathaway people, they just made $100 billion in like 3 months. It doesn't seem fair. But on the other hand, everybody else in the Bitcoin ecosystem will make trillions and trillions of dollars at the same time. And so there's a certain degree of fairness to it. A rising tide lifts all boats. And what you'll say is, I guess all these people weren't really against me after all. They just didn't understand.
In his latest interview, Michael Saylor shares his optimistic outlook for Bitcoin heading into 2024 and discusses the potential impact of the forthcoming BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. Saylor highlights that, for him, it's not the ETF itself but the potential consequences of its approval that will significantly reshape the crypto industry. According to Saylor, the impending Bitcoin ETF represents the most substantial development on Wall Street in the last 30 years, marking a historic achievement in Bitcoin's history. He firmly believes that the ETF will not only serve as a gateway for substantial institutional investments, but also draw the interest of industry giants such as Warren Buffett, Apple, Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. These influential players, according to Saylor, are likely to be drawn into the cryptocurrency space by the ripple effects of the ETF's approval. To gain a comprehensive understanding of Saylor's insights, viewers are encouraged to stick around until the end of the video, where he breaks down why Bitcoin is poised to revolutionize the cryptocurrency landscape in 2024.
And what you'll say is, I guess all these people weren't really against me after all. They just didn't understand. Right? And if you look at it that way, if you say, this is electricity, they're afraid of something they don't know, they grew up without it, they're used to horse and buggies, they have steam power in the middle of their building, and they're not really ready for this. If you just say that and you're patient, then you're like, I don't have to define Bitcoin as being against anybody. When you actually have to repudiate someone personally or repudiate their business, right, then you just make it unnecessarily confrontational. Anybody says to me, well, what do you think about this comment? I say, well, they're going to love it one day. If Warren Buffett doesn't buy it, the guy that bought Apple is going to buy $30 billion of Bitcoin, and he's going to make $100 billion. He's going to take victory laps, and they'll take credit for being brilliant. It's just going to happen. And it won't happen because of 10,000 hours of screaming. It'll happen because there'll be one guy that'll look and say, okay, I guess I get it. If it's good enough for BlackRock and Fidelity, I guess we should have a little bit, and they'll make a little bit more. And then someone else will say, whoa, I guess we should do it. And eventually it'll be the same with all the banks. It's going to get rolled out just like electricity, just like steel in skyscrapers, just like automobiles running on gasoline, just like jet airplanes. Like we say, everybody's against it before they're for it. So right now, I think that if you take an expansive view of Bitcoin, the ecosystem, you say Bitcoin's for everybody, every type of organization. And there's only two types of people in the world: those that understand the benefit of Bitcoin and are trying to get more integrated with it, and those that don't understand it yet, but they will. That's kind of the way the world divides, and maybe it takes 30 years or 40 years for everybody to go from a skeptic or ignorant to I embrace the technology, but it will happen. And it's beneficial for us just to be cheerful and constructive. And everybody you meet, if someone says, I hate Bitcoin, it's for criminals, you got to smile and say, it's just a protocol that can make your life better and make the life of your citizens better and make your shareholders happy and make your customers happy and delight everybody. I just need to show you how. I apologize. I have not yet found a way to show you how you can benefit your family, your friends, your shareholders, your employees, and your citizens. But I'm confident that once you understand it, you'll see that this is a benefit to you and your constituents. Please be patient with us. We're new. It's novel. I tell you one last funny anecdote on this subject. For 1,000 years, after Galen, people didn't understand how blood flowed through the body. And it was Harvey that finally figured out that the heart pumps blood through the arteries and recirculates it back through the veins. And it was the biggest breakthrough in medicine in 1,000 years. And this is when Harvey said, the heart actually pumps pumps the blood through the body. People couldn't believe it. And Harvey's famous statement is he said, no doctor over the age of 40 will ever believe me. Nobody over the age of 40 will ever believe that the heart pumps blood, And that's just, you got a paradigm shift, a new idea, and it takes people time. And I think that's where we are with Bitcoin. I think we're first and foremost educators. So I guess coming back to the point of this podcast, talk about principles, I guess my big idea is this. Bitcoin is successful because it represents scarcity of assets, scarcity of money, scarcity of bandwidth, scarcity of power, scarcity of technology. It represents the conservation of these things. It's the ultimate conservative network. And because it's conservative with regard to all these attributes, it conserves your life force. It conserves the energy in cyberspace. And we should approach it with a conservative mindset, which is it works. It's a brilliant, beautiful, living organism spreading in a viral fashion. Last I checked, it's growing 45% compounded annual growth. In the 40 months that MicroStrategy has been in the Bitcoin business since August of 2020, Bitcoin's up 45% compounded. That's how fast it's growing. And it's growing 4 or 5x faster than anything else, right? And so you have something which is extraordinarily successful. And we're about to break into a year where it's being embraced by the Wall Street establishment. I said it's the biggest development in 30 years, right? The last time something big happened was in 1993, the S&P 500 index was converted into an ETF called SPY by State Street. And they allowed you to, in one click, buy 500 stocks in the S&P 500 index. That ETF has $440 billion of capital in it right now, just that one ticker. And of course, if you put them all together, there must be $1 trillion or more of capital. So that was a big breakthrough. And we monetized corporate equity as money for the last 30 years. That's how you save your money. And so 30 years have gone by. We're about to now have Bitcoin in ETFs available from all major providers. Major breakthrough. Bitcoin is winning. Bitcoin, I've already established, right? It's got the economic support. It's got the political support. It's got the technical support. It's winning. It's stable. It's well engineered. There are 100,000 businesses that can be built on top of it, right? That being the case, when we think about any changes to the base layer, we should be hyper conservative. We should be the same way, a doctor would be. You've got a beautiful child, they're healthy. You don't want the doctor doing elective surgeries on them to make them just 1% better by cutting them open. Because human bias is we always overestimate the benefit we'll bring, and we always underestimate the unintended consequences. And it's, at some point, you've got some kind of medical cure that's 99.9% effective against a hypothetical problem that happens 1 in a million times, and you mandate it to 1 million people. And what happens is you save one person, you kill 999 innocent people, and you waste the time of the other 1 million people. And that's what happens with, excessive enthusiastic intervention in a healthy economy or a healthy organic ecosystem. So I think we should just be very, very thoughtful, and we should try to channel energy cheerfully and constructively at either building functionality in the layers above the base layer, because there's lots of stuff to be built. Go get Apple and Google to build Bitcoin into their products. Get Microsoft to build Bitcoin in their products. Build something to compete with them. I could give you 100,000 ideas of something to do. Every company on earth could basically flip their treasury to Bitcoin. Get every single company, millions of them, to convert to the Bitcoin standard, right? So that you can rework everything under the sun. There's a lot of stuff to do that's constructive, that expands the ecosystem, that will improve our odds of success and improve the rate of adoption without putting the base layer at risk. And so I'd say focus upon that. And with regard to the community, the internal Bitcoin community, I don't think we should fight amongst ourselves over, trivial things. Like there's a lot of fighting over, are you enough of a carnivore, right? Or are you enough of a whatever? And ultimately, like Bitcoiner on Bitcoiner violence is a waste of time, because we agree on 99.9% of the stuff in the world, and someone disagrees about how to do multi-sig and what signing device, and we hate each other. I think we should keep that, it should be thought of in the context of it's social, but, we should back off on getting distracted. And I think that we shouldn't really define Bitcoin as against a currency, against a nation, against a banking, against the status quo. We don't need to topple the status quo. We would be better off just to say Bitcoin is digital property that can and will be integrated into everything on Earth to the benefit of everybody. We're here to bring you, something to make your life better. Better living through Bitcoin, right? That's the motto.
Michael Saylor explains his bullish stance on Bitcoin as we head into 2024. Saylor's insights into the potential impact of the upcoming BlackRock Bitcoin ETF emphasize its significance beyond a mere financial instrument. He sees it as a catalyst for monumental change in the industry. According to Saylor, the Bitcoin ETF represents the most significant development on Wall Street in the last 30 years, marking a historic achievement for Bitcoin. Saylor underscores the ETF's role in opening doors to substantial institutional investments and attracting the attention of industry giants like Warren Buffett, Apple, Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. As Saylor breaks down the reasons why Bitcoin is poised to revolutionize the cryptocurrency landscape in 2024, it becomes evident that we stand on the cusp of a new era in digital finance. His perspective not only offers insights into the future of Bitcoin but also hints at broader implications for the global financial system, making it a pivotal moment in the evolution of digital finance. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.